Welcome to our channel. Let's begin the journey.
Welcome back to another explainer. Today, we are diving into a high-stakes, absolutely thrilling topic right at the heart of nuclear physics: reactor kinetics. Specifically, we're going to look closely at what we call the brakes of the machine. If you've ever wondered how we actually harness the incredible explosive power of the atom and keep it perfectly tamed for massive sustainable energy generation, you are in the exact right place. So grab your notes, because this is a really fascinating ride into the microscopic mechanics that keep our modern world safely powered. I want to hook you right away with this fundamental, almost existential question that the early physicists had to grapple with. What prevents a nuclear reactor from just accelerating out of control in a fraction of a second? Think about it. When a heavy nucleus like uranium-235 splits apart, it releases an astronomical amount of energy and multiple secondary neutrons. Those neutrons go on to split more atoms, and the raw physics dictates that this chain reaction should happen so incredibly fast that human beings couldn't possibly control it. And yet, we do. So, how?
Section 1. Fission and prompt neutrons. Let's set the stage by looking at the terrifying speed of a standard nuclear chain reaction when we strip away all the safety mechanisms. When a neutron strikes a uranium-235 nucleus, it destabilizes, breaks apart into two lighter fragments, and releases energy. But critically, it also releases more neutrons. We call these prompt neutrons because they're born immediately during the fission event. The exact moment the atom splits, these neutrons are ejected at insanely high speeds, packing serious kinetic energy, around 2 million electron volts per neutron.
Now look at this staggering number, 10 to the power of -3 seconds. 1 millisecond. That is the generation time of these prompt neutrons in a reactor lattice. From the moment a prompt neutron is born, gets slowed down by a moderator, and causes another fission event, only a single millisecond has passed. If our reactor was controlled solely by prompt neutrons, power would multiply every thousandth of a second. Human reaction time is around 1/4 of a second, so even our absolute fastest mechanical systems couldn't plunge a control rod into the core fast enough. Human control at this speed, it's just simply impossible.
Section 2. The threat of prompt criticality.
Okay, let's dive into this, because we have a stark contrast here. On the left, a critical reactor. Now don't let the word critical scare you. In reactor physics, critical just means steady. Neutron production exactly equals neutron removal. It's a safe, perfectly balanced state of operation. But on the right, we have a prompt critical reactor. This happens when the reactivity of the core, represented by the Greek letter rho, becomes equal to or greater than a tiny value we call beta. If we ever hit this state, we no longer need any delayed effects to sustain the chain reaction. The reactor's power just spikes exponentially on that terrifying millisecond timeline we just discussed.
So the crucial point is represented by this mathematical threshold. What happens when rho is greater than or equal to beta? Well, when reactivity crosses that beta threshold, the reactor is prompt critical. The power spikes uncontrollably. But, since we safely operate nuclear reactors around the globe every single day, there absolutely must be a hero in this story that prevents rho from ever needing to cross that line.
Section 3. The ultimate shock absorber. As you'll see here, when the fuel nucleus undergoes fission, it doesn't just release those immediate prompt neutrons. It also creates unstable nuclei known as fission products. If you follow that bottom path on the diagram, some of these products are what we call delayed neutron precursors. They're unstable, and as they decay over time, which can be anywhere from a fraction of a second to nearly a minute later, they finally emit a neutron. These are our delayed neutrons. They literally show up late to the party. To really see how this builds our safety net, focus on the row for uranium-235. Look closely at the column for beta. Beta represents the delayed neutron fraction, and for uranium-235, it's 0.0065. That means less than 1%, specifically 0.65% of all neutrons produced are delayed neutrons. The other 99.35% are prompt. It seems like a totally insignificant, tiny fraction, right? But here's the kicker. Because these delayed neutrons take an average of 13 seconds to appear, as noted in that tau column, they act as the ultimate temporal shock absorber. The reactor literally cannot sustain its chain reaction without waiting for this tiny 0.65% to finally arrive.
Section 4. The reactor period equation.
So you might be wondering, how does waiting for less than 1% of the neutrons completely alter the timeline of a nuclear reactor?
Well, the answer lies in the reactor period, which is denoted by a capital T. The reactor period is simply the time it takes for the reactor's power to change by a factor of E, the mathematical constant of approximately 2.718. The equation itself is really elegant. Power at any given time equals the initial power multiplied by E raised to the power of time divided by the reactor period. Basically, a short reactor period means power is skyrocketing. A long reactor period, that means power is changing slowly, safely, and predictably. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the striking visual proof it gives us. Notice that incredibly steep, almost vertical red line labeled prompt neutrons. Without our delayed neutron fraction, the period is dictated entirely by those prompt neutrons, causing power to change almost instantly. It's a cliff. But compare that to the gentle, manageable slope labeled delayed neutrons. Because the reactor is physically forced to wait for those delayed precursors to decay in order to maintain criticality, the actual reactor period is governed by this gentle slope instead.
Let's put some real numbers to this to see why it matters so much in the real world. If we were to inject a small amount of positive reactivity into a core without delayed neutrons, the power would spike uncontrollably in fractions of a second. But thanks to our delayed neutrons, that same injection of reactivity might instead result in a reactor period of 143 seconds. If you plug that into our equation from earlier, it means it would take 100 seconds, nearly 2 full minutes, for the reactor power to actually double. We've effectively taken a millisecond explosion and stretched it into a 2-minute gradual increase. We pulled the timeline right back into the realm of human control.
Section 5. Brakes of the machine.
Okay, so physics has successfully bought us time. Now, how do human engineers physically drive the nuclear reactor? We drive it using control rods, which are essentially the physical brakes of the machine. Step 1. Operators constantly monitor the core reactivity and the reactor period to ensure slow, completely manageable changes. Step 2. If the power needs to drop or the reactor needs to shut down, they insert the control rods. And these aren't just made of any random metal. They are a highly specific alloy of 80% silver, 15% indium, and 5% cadmium. Step 3. Why this specific alloy? Because these elements are unbelievably good at absorbing thermal and epithermal neutrons. When these rods plunge into the core, they literally steal the neutrons before they can split another uranium atom, which instantly reduces reactivity and safely shuts down the entire chain reaction. Which brings us to this perfectly stated quote from our source material. Delayed neutrons, despite their relatively small fraction in the neutron population, fundamentally change how the reactor behaves. It is truly staggering when you think about it. A fraction of a percent of atomic physics is literally all that stands between an uncontrollable disaster and the massive, sustainable output of clean energy that powers cities all around the globe. I want to leave you with a thought to chew on today. If just 0.65% of a nuclear reaction dictates the safety of an entire gigawatt-producing machine, what other invisible fractions, what other tiny, completely overlooked variables are holding our modern world together? Physics is just full of these fragile, beautiful balances. I hope this explainer has given you a newfound appreciation for the incredible science behind reactor kinetics. Keep learning, stay curious, and I'll catch you in the next one.
The view from here is breathtaking. Command, we are in position and ready for the next phase. If you liked the video, subscribe and comment the topic you want next. Thanks for watching, and stay unstoppable.